Hi, welcome to Our Life V3. I'm Steve,
And I'm Mary.
and today we're going to be covering our first half of April's World Cruise. We start our trip out arriving in Maldives. We got in an extra day early, so we took advantage of that by deciding to go for an extra snorkel.
Yeah, we already had scheduled a day of snorkeling with the MSC cruise for day 2, so wanted to go out because the Maldives are known for snorkeling and it didn't disappoint us.
Was able to find a local tour guide, and so we ended up with just a short little trip with these guys, but it was perfect. We got to see turtles and stingray, sharks,
Yeah, Blacktip Reef Sharks.
spotted unicorn, octopus, parrot fish. Oh, the parrot fish were weird because they were just chomping on the rocks, and you could hear them from like a mile away.
Oh,
Wow, look at that.
jeez.
They took us out to a sandbar,
We're at the sandbar.
so we got to relax in the middle of the Maldives out on a lonely little sandbar.
Yeah, there we cleaned up a little bit. A lot of plastics around, but boy, what an enjoyable, relaxing experience.
Watermelon.
Finally, watermelon with a good taste.
Our guide brought us out some watermelon. It was fantastic just sitting in the water on a hot day eating the watermelon.
That was paradise. Oh, there was also a standing sea cucumber.
Toward the end of the evening, he decided to take us out to see some dolphins. So at sunset, we were watching dolphins, well, swimming and mating. On the second day, however, we joined the MSC excursion, and look at the difference we had. Although the snorkeling was almost in the same spots, it was a far bigger crowd, and we ended up repeating some of the areas that we snorkeled on day one.
Yeah, we did see a few additional creatures, such as the moray eel.
Other blacktip and the sea turtles. Oh, the sea turtles were phenomenal.
They were beautiful. Oh, we also saw an octopus that came out of its hole and crawled around a little bit. Got to see it change color, trying to hide and camouflage itself. Beautiful.
The guide was making me jealous because he could swim down as far as he could go. I couldn't get that far.
That evening, they brought in a local group.
Soul of the Maldivian Rhythm. And these guys gave us Maldives original dancing. Mary and I did not partake in the dancing, but we did enjoy watching it.
A couple of days later, we were in Port Victoria, Seychelles.
We had decided that day to skip the MSC tour, and we rented a private charter boat for our table of friends. A nice little walk down to the boat marina, which was about 15 minutes, and boarded up, and they were going to take us out to the St. Anne Marine National Park for some more snorkeling.
It was nice. We got to see the MSC Magnifica up close.
Hold on to stand.
As we went by it, it was a wonderful time. They took us out. We fed some fish. Those fish were crazy.
Oh, the Seychelles Island there was just this little rock island, and you got to dive down, and it was like so deep around the island. There's another one of those parrot fish. Oh man, those things are loud.
You can hear them.
You really can. Sea turtles just like having a day off down on the beach there. He's like, yeah. We addicted all of our table mates to each owning their own GoPro, so we had a lot of footage from different angles.
Yeah, that's really nice. Oh my God, the color of this water, insanely beautiful.
This water is
What?
beautiful.
Did you just repeat yourself?
I did.
It's a little stingray. Now, it's hard to see, but that stingray was almost 30 feet down, so...
Oh, and Cindy Squarepants. She came up and she looked like SpongeBob SquarePants. That was so funny.
Go out to have a nice little sandbar relaxing time. You did have to watch. There were some stingrays down in the water, so if you didn't watch where you were stepping, you could end up standing on one.
At it.
Carol did her best example of a sea otter.
It's just a pile of rocks.
There's that stingray. What are we doing?
There's a group hug.
Oh,
A
group
group
hugs.
hug. I think Carol was crying. Oh, the big fish. They were so huge. They were, what, about a foot?
I would say they're a foot across at least.
Yeah, it was just beautiful. Oh my gosh, this place we ate.
They took us to this lunch over at the beach bar on Ile Crif. Food was phenomenal. They had kind of a mix of I don't know, it was a real Caribbean, almost like a jerk chicken and fish, but a little bit of a curry flavor to it. They gave you an option to pick up some drinks. I tried a local rum there, and it was so perfect.
Yum, 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 yum. It's delicious.
We followed that up with a little more snorkeling. Of course, after your belly's full and you're back in the water, it just really is not as fun. But the heat of the day was coming in and the water murked up a little bit. So we decided that was a good enough day. Great memories, and we took off to get back to the ship. This is the group of local fishermen offloading their haul for the day, and they'd load them into these Merrick's truck beds and send them shipping.
So we had a couple more days between our ports of call, and MSC did a Guinness World Book of Records. And so they did different things, spinning in a chair, throwing hats on a rack, and things like that. It was okay to watch.
April 9th, we landed in Nosy Be, Madagascar. On this day, we were taking the MSC tour to visit the amazing Tani Hali and the island of Nosy Kamba. It was a tender port, so we did have to port into the island from the ship and then got on another boat to go over to Tani Hali. Out there, we decided we were going to do a little more snorkeling because you cannot miss this water.
Oh my God, there was a jellyfish. I was just swimming along and it, like you saw it, it was like right there. Came over the top. Oh, there's a beautiful giant clam and all the beautiful fish.
Our guide wanted us to walk up to a lighthouse, and although that would have been fun, it was just great getting out in the water once again.
So many sea urchins. You know, we really got a good, nice close-up look at them too. Saw some local fishermen on the way. We went from Tani Hali over to Nosy Kamba,
where we went to go have a lunch at Chez Jojo.
Yeah, it was interesting. It wasn't my favorite food that we've had, but I'm glad I tried it. So, of course, there was plenty of things to purchase along the way. Some local dancers were dancing, and then we took a walk up to see the lemurs.
10,000 people living in this island. So most of the people here are fishermen and farming. We farm vanilla and cocoa, pepper, and cinnamon.
This is the hospital.
It's really kind of interesting. We walked along and we saw they were talking about coffee.
This is the coffee beans. Thank you. Coffee at the beginnings, but the most expensive coffee in the world is Liverpool. It's about 1,200 euro 1 kilo.
And they grow vanilla. It's bourbon vanilla.
So this is a bourbon vanilla. You see, inside there is a lot of vanillin inside.
But then we got to see the lemurs.
So the Lemur National Park there is well, it's kind of a zoo, but it really is a sanctuary for the lemurs on the island. Check out the little chameleons. Little centipede, poisonous centipede. Our guide was actually quite excellent. He knew his animals and his species very well.
There was a boa snake, I believe.
It was so funny. A kid was like, "Mommy, can I hold the snake?" And the mom's like, "No."
No, darling. Oh, and then there's some black pepper and cacao. It was an interesting national park area. I really liked it. Here's a local elementary school that they had.
Of course, then it was time to head back to the ship.
And just in time, because it looked like it was raining.
Yes.
Arts and Crafts Day. Here we are, super crafters.
Yeah, so the nice part about on the MSC, they do arts and crafts, and they are free to make. So I only did one arts and crafts day for me, and we made bags here.
You look like you were having so much fun.
Yeah, it was fun. We did decoupage with We took napkins and we took the layers off the napkin to just get down to the colored part of it. And then we would place it onto a bag that had some glue and kind of press it down and then put some more glue over the top. And then magically, in a few days, it was pretty much ready to go.
I just want to scream, lay it down already.
No patience. But there was carols. And Cindy did the African theme, and I did a wooded theme, and I had to come back and paint mine.
I really thought we'd get off and there'd be elephants right here.
On the 14th, we arrived in Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Our goal for this day was to go out to the Shasha Safari, a private game reserve with the Big Five. We booked that through Langley Travel.
It was our first time that we had gone on an African safari, so we really didn't know exactly what to expect, having only been on Kilimanjaro Safari. We saw so many giraffes. They were beautiful, just beautiful animals. This reserve, it's a private reserve that's been in the family generations. I'm going to say at least 8, and it was probably more than that.
The really cool thing about the reserve is it is all natural. So yes, it is gated around it, but all these animals are living and coexisting together. They've all in there. So if a lion wants to eat a giraffe, there's no stopping it. They'll chase a gazelle and have lunch that way. They don't feed them or anything. It's all just natural.
Yep, that's what we have here, which was really great to see. We saw the little warthogs, and he takes off running. So cute.
Warthog. Sorry for the little black spots on there. My camera got dirt on the lens, and I didn't have a chance to clean it yet. Here we have a pride of lions, one male and a couple females, and some youngsters all just shading themselves under the tree. We were probably, 10, 15 feet away from them?
Yeah, I think and look at those thorn bushes. I think we show a little bit of how close we were, but we really were very, very close to the lions. This gives you an idea of how close we were.
Let's just say if he wanted to pounce, we'd be in trouble.
Yeah, but they weren't going to pounce. They were quite happy with their zebra and whatever else they were eating.
Love this sleepy little hippopotamus. He's like,
Laughed his ears. The hippos are the most dangerous animal in Africa for humans.
Shared an ostrich egg with us. Yes, that is a real ostrich egg. Actually carve a hole in the end, suck out the egg, eat it, and then they would use it as a canteen to hold water while they went across the plains.
Oh, yep. Oh, Simba, run.
Stampede. Got some wildebeests here.
The giraffes were just beautiful.
Of course, we were jealous and waiting patiently to see our elephants, which we did get to see eventually.
Yep, and here's a bunch of monkeys.
I think they were the vermin monkeys.
They were the vermin monkeys.
Here comes some elephants from across the way.
I have to say that we felt like we were in Africa at this point, because you look out, you see zebras and elephants and antelope and warthogs, and they were all just right there all together. Just beautiful. And there was a little youngster elephant. And they got very, very close to our safari vehicles.
Our guide was fantastic. Taz was her name, and she just said, whatever you do, keep quiet at this point. Don't make noise or don't stir. She was very good at letting us know how to react around certain things. That evening, back on board, they brought along Amanda Zulu dancers. They're a local dance crew that gives us some of the historic dance routines of South Africa.
This was the most interesting dance that they did.
Yeah, the gumboot dance, they were not allowed to talk when they were working in the mines. It was forbidden. So all the women, and that's why the men are dressed up as girls here, would actually start stomping their feet to communicate with each other. But they gave us all kinds of routines, like the male mating rituals and how they would attract a female or decide who was the best suited for them. A couple fight routines. It just really was neat seeing this.
A couple of days later, we were down in the Cape Town area of South Africa.
Here we took the MSC tour on the Cape Town Peninsula and the African penguin colony. First, we drove past Table Mountain out to Hoop Bay on Chapman's Peak Drive, which was a scenic coastal route.
A little bit of South Africa that will forever be Miami or Palm Beach.
This is the scenic drive right up against the rocks.
Yeah, what's the name of this?
Chapman's Peak Drive.
Yeah, that was quite an interesting drive. It was just beautiful seeing.
At one point, somebody asked to stop and use a restroom, and of course, there was stuff to buy, and Cindy saw that there was a store she could have gone to. Entering Cape Peninsula, we got to see some of the baboons and ostriches.
So you can eat first.
Took the Flying Dutchman funicular up to the New Cape Point Lighthouse, and then we took a walk on the Lightkeeper's Trail.
Yeah, had we known that this wasn't nearly as steep as some of the other locations that we were in, we probably just would have walked up. Hey. Uh-oh, poopy. This looks like danger right there, right?
I think that there might have been
a lot of
shipwrecks.
Yeah, no kidding. Woo, nothing to see this way. That's all that matters. New York and London.
These were the houses that the lighthouse keepers would stay in.
This was their trail. They actually had a different lighthouse, and the one that we went to was the new lighthouse.
One was quite a bit out there. It was a few miles out. And at that point, we decided we'd turn around and spend a little more time heading out toward the Cape of Good Hope.
Yeah, because this trail was not the best upkept. That's an incredible.
Now, this is the trail going out to the Cape of Good Hope, and there it is.
And you can see in the back was the lighthouse, and I loved this walk. It was fantastic walk across some of the sandstone, and then heading over, hit some more boardwalk. Diaz Beach. This is not Diaz Beach. This is the Cape of Good Hope.
See the sea lions hanging out on the rocks there, and there are some penguins, although you won't see them from this point. That was some rough surf, and you could see where a lot of the sailors had a hard time.
And this is the madness that comes with tourist destinations. From there, we went over to Boulders Beach, where we got to see the African penguin.
Now, this was our first chance at an African penguin, and although they look like some of the penguins we've seen, they are very unique, strictly Africa.
They were so cute. And so that kind of rounded out our penguin adventures. I think the only one that we really never got to see was the king penguin. It's still very elusive to us. We missed sunset almost every evening as our dinner time overlapped it. However, we received a viewer request to include a sunset from the ship.
Wish it was a little better, but we hope it will raise your hopes and spirits, and that you're all better on the mend.
Know that you're in our hearts, and that we're rooting for you both.
Well, thanks for watching. Our next video will be the last of the World Cruise highlight videos as the cruise comes to an end.
No worries, though, as we have many videos in the works that will touch on planning, expectations, excursions, and general cruise thoughts.
Please reach out to us if there's anything in particular that you'd like to see or any questions that we could answer for you.
Take care, everyone.